The red lights are out. Or are they? Everyone has... Now they go. The red lights are out. And the green ones come on. And away go Mizzo and Scars into turn 1. Scars got a poor exit. And now Mizzo takes the lead. Going into turn 1. A little bit of wind damage further back there. Mizzo holds the inside line. Mizzo goes into P1. There's a spin right at the back there as well. Dewey is retired from the session already early on into the race. And a safe VSC is out. The VSC is out. Dewey has retired from the session early into the race. And there's a couple of penalties being handed out here already. But at the front of the grid, Mizzo has taken the lead. Haunter has dropped down into 19th. Here, HC at the back as well. Dirk has already jumped into P11. Chef in P17 here as well. Didn't get a good look at really what happened. But that is not what Dewey would have wanted early in this race. We've already lost one of the competitors. Well, how times can change so quickly under VSC at the moment, but Dewey out of the race, DM dropping back, Chef dropping back. This is looking good for Dirk right now, though, who's jumped into P11, and the VSC has cleared now. So Dirk going down the inside of Zhao already. Not quite able to make that one stick, but Zhao does stay ahead with the penalty as well. I assume it's probably going to be a 3-second penalty or 5-second penalty. I'm not too sure what the penalty is actually for. Mizzo sets the first lap of the session on the first lap, of course. Koi is 7 tenths behind Tanish right now, but I believe Dirk going a little bit wider as well. Getting a warning for that little off track. But Dirk, fantastic start so far. In P16 he began and is already up into P9 on lap 3. Already an early contender for driver of the day if there is one. Quite able to. There's a yellow flag in. That is Poppin. Poppin has spun out on the exit at the end of Sector 2. And that has dropped him down quite far here. Tump and Zhao are the only ones further behind him. I believe I've pitted quite early here. Yeah, Tump and Zhao both on... Well, Tump is on the medium tyres. Zhao on the soft. So not a good day for Red Bull here. As Poppin does get back on the track. And it's very tight for this battle, actually. There's a few drivers involved in this one. RJ is currently the lead car of them. But look at the gap. There goes. Turn around the outside of Sam. And, oh, it's tight. It is very tight. Sam on the inside line. Turn on the right-hand side. Can he keep that position? It's neck and neck between these two. Wheel to wheel. Term just getting that inside line, holding it together. And Sam has to drop back a little bit. RJ just gets a 3-second penalty as well. So that strict corner cutting has already taken effect on some of the drivers. But Term's starting to drop off of RJ a little bit after that battle with Sam. And I wouldn't expect that one to end in the near future either. Term's got that DRS looking down that outside line of RJ. RJ blocks it off, and Sam going down the inside there. Not the greatest camera angles here, but Sam goes for a double dive. Sam, can he take 2 in 1 position here? That's a bit of a cut for RJ. Sam down the inside on his teammate. Sam, 2 in 1. Easy as you like for him. Dirk has just received a 3-second penalty as well. And now, oh, he's going 3 wide into turn 4. This is not what you want to see because it could be very dangerous. Term chooses to back out there. And that is that, I think. I think Tanish has gone off as well. Up ahead, he is on the right-hand side. Tanish off of the track. Not sure what's happened there, but Dirk is up to P7 now. Dirk having a great race so far. Exactly what we expected from him. Term holding that inside line against Chef. Struggling on the medium tyres against the soft tyre users, I believe. A little bit of a touch in between the Racing Point and the Mercedes there. But they're going wheel to wheel here as well. Thankfully, that was a fairly clean 3 wide, I'm quite happy to say. And now here's Chef versus RJ. Chef with the DRS down the inside. Before they even get to the finish line, Chef's already made the move. He'll take that outside line, and he'll go up into P13. A little bit of oversteer on the exit as well. That should hold Chef's position for a little bit. Here we go then. HC looking around the outside. That's a lovely move. Very quick. Super move from HC down the outside of Githmark there. And Githmark does drop back a place. However, I wouldn't think that one is done just yet. They are still chasing down DM, so They can keep it in DRS range. I believe that battle will go on for quite a while longer yet. So it's Haas versus Racing Point. Is Chef going to look down the inside here? Looks like he will. Keeping a nice inside line. Very wide there. As they come very quite tight together in turn one. A little bit running up the curb for Chef. And unfortunately does get a time penalty for that one because he has cut the entire curve there. Chef does go into P12. I'll tell you what. Let's go jump on the battle here for P8 because HCE is against DM here. Down the inside goes the McLaren on DM. And DM bringing it a little bit later, holding that wider line going into turn 2. Does get the inside line, but now the McLaren will get the inside line. Little bit of touching there as well between the McLaren and DM in the Mercedes. And there's another McLaren of Coit going down the inside now. And will he make that move stick? I don't think DM even has DRS. So DM has just lost 2 places in as many corners, which is not what we would have wanted to see. However, HC is on the medium tire, so maybe DM can try and take advantage of that early here. And RJ getting a penalty as well, again for track limits. Good racing, to be fair, though. Very nice and clean, which you want to see. Githmark will be looking to try and get past DM as well, but it's a 4-way battle for P8 here, which is really awesome. Sam is 15 seconds behind this battle, so I don't think we'd expect to see him here anytime close. Here we go. Any move from the Williams here. Williams taking the outside line. John on the outside. Hyper on the inside. Oh, a little bit of wheel contact there. John gets a very good line going down the outside. Who gets the DRS? I didn't quite see who had the advantage. It is the Williams. The Williams has DRS going down that right-hand side. Going into turn 4. John makes the move stick. And that is P3 completed for John. Hyper drops down to 4th place. So outside the podium is where Hyper stands. But I don't think that battle is over just yet. Very close together going into Sector 2. And while all this happens, there's also moves going on further down the field as well as Sam does get back into P12 ahead of Chef. Oh, there's yellow flag in Sector 2, and that is one of the racing points. It can't be Chef, which means Poppin has spun around again as well. Not having the best of races, Poppin. Has to wait for drivers to come by. Poppin back on the track on the medium tyres. Really, really struggling. There we can see the accumulation of penalties. That's a big bin I just heard there. And that is Poppin again. Poppin again has DNF from the race this time. And there's the first safety car of the race. The safety car is out. Poppin has lost it on the straight. And now we will see a lot of pit stop changes and a lot of positional changes, I think, as well. The entire grid will close up together, so a massive chance for those who are further back to have a chance here. And I'll tell you what, this probably benefits JM a lot here, who was 15 seconds behind the podium chasers. And Scars has dropped that back to P5 here, and I believe he has just pit. Scars has just pit. And I'm not sure if he did that during the safety car. He may have done that before the safety car was out, which means that could be really beneficial for those who have just or need to go and pit now. Now we can see all the tyre users. Quite a few people choosing to use the hard tyre. And you would think that the ones on the hard tyre are probably going to go until the end. Still quite a few drivers to actually catch up with the safety car here. I do hope they do manage to catch up. We'll be out for another lap, maybe 2. Taken on there. Yellow flag is set to 2, and that's one of the McLarens. That is Coit. Coit has spun out going into turn 6. So he's dropped back on the medium tyre. He's not too far behind, but he has lost quite a significant amount of time after all that. So not good news for Coit, who I'm sure would have wanted to have a very good race here, and has kind of gone the opposite way to how he would have wanted it to. Scars is 2 tenths behind. DRS enabled by race control. So, could we see something happen going into turn 3 if they're now allowed to use DRS? Remember, Scars still has that time penalty, as does Hyper, so Mizzo does have that slight advantage. There's that DRS wide open for Scars. Scars going down the inside into turn 3, and there is Scars taking the lead of the race positionally. Mizzo jumps down to P2 on the hard tires, and Hyper is now going to be looking to do the same. This is a chance for Scars to now try and pull away as fast as he can, try and make the most of what his penalty remains. Let's remind ourselves of what the penalty actually is for him. So he has a 3-second penalty, so it's not that significant of a penalty. Hyper does have an 8-second penalty. So if Scars does manage to pull away here, you can't rule out a possible race win for someone else other than Mizzo. Oh, and there goes Tom. Tom has gone for a spin, and that's front wing damage as well. And it's automatically reset into the track there. And that is a big amount of damage there for Tom. So, not good for him. Not good at all. He will need to box for a new front wing because that was significant damage. And he is going to drop way down the grid after all that. He's going very wide, struggling with the understeer now. He'll need to go onto a new set of tires and put on a new wing as well. Look at that, really struggling. Going wide as well, and there goes Term, getting past him with ease. So a chance for Tom has now turned into a calamity, and he will be dropping a lot of time, unfortunately, which is sad to see. It's the end, but I'm not sure. It's yellow flag, and that's one of the McLarens as well. Is that Coit who's gone off? It is Coit has gone off. And is he pulling over to the side of the road, or he's just allowing cars to go by? Coit is not having a good race here either. He's got to stay off the track here. Stay on the grass, Coit. What is he doing? And that is a... Coit is retired from the session. There we go. Coit has chosen to not play anymore. A difficult race for Coit. And on lap 33, he has chosen to retire. And the car will pull over to the side of the track at some point. There we go. And that is a Coit man out of the race from P17. Hyper's dropped down to P6, and I think we might have missed a little spin that's happened because he is still on the same tires. So Hyper has dropped down. I'm not sure if there was contact with someone else. I'm not sure if he lost it by himself. But he is now behind JM, and John has gone into P3. And he is going to make a move early on JM here. The Ferrari versus the Alfa Romeo. And it is the Ferrari that does just get ahead. There doesn't seem to be any wing damage for the Ferrari, which I'm sure he'll be very glad to know. Hopefully it was just a little spin. No damage done, I hope. But he has lost all that time, which is some sort of mental damage, I would assume. But Hyper easily past JM, and into P5 he goes. So still has a lot of ERS left in the bank here as well, so using that quite wisely. And getting very close together, going to C4. And there is Tanish retiring from the session as well. Did say he was going to, and sure enough, he did. So into the pit lane, and he is going to be out of the race as well. So that's our 4th retirement of the race. They happen, Tanish. It just shows how brutal a 100% race can be. You can be doing so well on the Lord of the Tigers is one mistake. And here goes Mizzo down the inside of Scars. Mizzo taking into P1. And Scars has dropped down now. Mizzo reclaims the lead of the race. It's taking him a little bit of time to do it, but the medium tyre is starting to come into their own now. And Scars has dropped down to P2. Hyper is in 5th place, 4 tenths behind him as well. So again, we might be seeing a battle between them two. We'll actually jump on board with that battle because there's 2 Ferraris, the 2 teammates with each other here. Scar versus Hyper. And we're going to see a Ferrari versus Leclerc like we did in 2019. Down the inside goes Hyper, and that is position claimed. And Scar, will they be able to battle going into turn 4 as well? And I'll tell you what, there's actually a battle for P2 here. Oh, sorry, Scars has actually got ahead behind John. So John has managed to overtake Scars. I didn't notice that one happening. But John is up into P2. That happened very quickly. So I tell you what, we may not be looking at John. We may not be looking at Scars for a victory here. We may be looking at possibly John for a fight for P1. With the soft tires as well, Mizu will also have soft tires. Okay, here. Mizo's pit. Mizo in the pit lane. In goes Mizo for his pit stop. A defining moment of this race. How far behind was John? Well, will John be at the end of this? There is no penalty to serve for Mizo. And where is John? John coming down at the entry now. He goes through turn 1. I think John is going to lead this race by quite some margin. Mizo dropping down to P3. So he will have the fresh soft tyres to use for the rest of this race. And it's not that big of a margin as I first initially thought. Let's have a look at the penalties. 9-second penalty is on the cards for John right now, which will be served at the end of this race. He will not be serving that in a pit lane. So 9 seconds is what John needs to win this race. And I think there's been a position change. JM has just dropped down to Dirk here. As we probably expected, Dirk on the soft tyres will be trying to hold that pace. But look at this. JM has not given that one up. And you didn't expect him to either. Dirk getting past JM with ease. And JM just dropping back a little bit. Going through here. If we could just hold on to that DRS though. Let's have a look at the penalties for these guys as well. No penalties for JM and 3 seconds for Dirk. And a little lock up there for Dirk as well on that front right. And a position change further up as well while we're looking at this battle. Hyper has gone down the inside of Scar. Hyper up into P5 on the medium tyres. So good work from Hyper. Good pace on their medium tyres, early pace. Maybe you'd expect a little bit more from Scar on those soft tyres. Eight lap fresher tyres for Mizo though. So I think soon we'll be seeing Mizo cruising past the Williams. No DRS for the Williams either. Here goes Mizo down the inside of turn 1. Will he get in that position? He will. Mizo retains the lead of the Brazilian GP. Purple sector 3 for him as well. Superb move by Mizo to get it done at turn 1. And now he will need to try and hold him into turn 4. To which he does. And that could be a very big moment in the race as well. So Mizo now back in the lead of this race. We've had 3 different leaders of this race. We've had Mizo, we've had Scars, and we've had John, all leading at some point in this race. The only leaders of this race. Pretty vital for everyone else. DM has just got a penalty as well. Dirk has just got past JM once again. So these guys are still battling. JM is not giving up the pace with them medium tyres. And JM is looking around the outside here. Can JM have a look? Dirk is going to hold his line. And JM's going to have to give that position up there at least. Let's keep an eye on this battle because this has been going on for quite some time. Mizo sets the first lap of the race. 1:08.6. Fantastic lap there from the German. But you can't really rule out Johnny either. Here goes JM down the outside of Dirk. I can't see the camera. There we go. JM holding the outside line. Dirk on the inside line. Oh, contact between the two. And Dirk has gone spinning off. And JM has gone up into P8. Very tight race between the two. Dirk has to go a little bit wide to allow one of the Renaults to go through. And Dirk has now dropped down to P10 after contact between him and JM. Zhao up into P9 now. So unfortunate for Dirk, who was racing so well throughout this race and has just spun out at a crucial moment with 12 laps remaining. And here we go. I think this is a moment where we see HC start to drop down a little bit. There's a 20-second gap between HC and DM, so HC with that inside line. Hyper going around the outside. The medium tires coming into the advantage there. And there goes Hyper into P4. Clean as you like, really. And I think Scar will probably be making his move very shortly on the McLaren as well. So, old rivalries die hard here in Brazil. HC really, really doing well on them hard tires. They must be starting to absolutely kill. And don't forget, DM, 21 seconds behind Scar, is also on the hard tires. Unfortunately, he has dropped a few positions in this race, which I'm sure he'll be quite gutted about. But his brother behind him as well. I'm not sure what the gap is between those two. I'll tell you what, there is no gap because JM has just got past DM and JM up into P7 now. So the two brothers fighting it out, and JM on the medium tires has now got past DM, and DM now starts struggling on hard tires as well. And there you go, driver of the day for the Brazilian GP is this man here, HCE in the McLaren. Has done exceptionally well to climb all the way up to P5 onto hard tyres. 46 laps on these hard tyres and maintains it as well. Done exceptionally well, HCE. Full credit to him. And he will be the driver of the day as voted by you guys. So thank you very much everyone who has voted on the driver of the day. I'm sure H will be very happy to hear that. And I think he'll be very happy with his performance today as well. Dirk has managed to get past Zhao there as well for the start-finish line. And Dirk up into P9, and he is 7 seconds behind DM. Be difficult to catch up that much, and he's just got a 3-second penalty as well, so got the move done, but gets a penalty for it. It's not what you want to see. Have a look at the penalties now as well. Zhao has got a 9-second penalty anyway, so I don't think this could be too significant for Dirk. I'll tell you what, if he had kept that 3-second penalty, then maybe, just maybe, he would have got into P8 because Hunter, has a 9-second penalty as well, so. However, we do have a battle here still between the McLaren and the Ferrari. HCE, oh, there goes the Ferrari down the inside of the McLaren as HCE just lost out on P5, just keeps his nose in front in turn 2, and the Ferrari runs a little bit too much on the curb and has to get the position back. So HCE on lap 70 with 1 lap to go is trying to hold on to P5. Superbly done on the hard tyres to keep a soft tyre user off of him. HCE is doing absolutely incredibly here in this battle. Don't forget, let's have a look once again. His tyres are about to be 50 laps old. Now, granted, Sky is on 24-lap-old soft tyres, but you'd still fancy those softs a little bit extra to them hards. But HCE is absolutely putting in work on them hard tyres. The first ever Vince Fan Community Race winner coming down the final straight, around the final corner. Your race winner for the Brazilian GP for the Vince Fan Community Races is Mizzo. Congratulations to him. Superb race from him. And in P2, it's going to be a bit of a tight one here because Scars is 0.1 off of him. Will he finish ahead of him on track? John does finish ahead on track, but Scars, regardless of that, will go into P2 because of penalties. So there is your top 3. John finishes P3 on the soft tyres. Hyper only 15 seconds behind him on the medium tyres. Hyper is going to come across the line. Good race from Hyper as well to come in out of nowhere to get a P4. Superb from HCE has gone into P4 with the penalties. HCE has finished P4 with the hard tyres. My voice is going. That is superb. Oh, the voice break. HCE has managed to get into P4 after penalties. Superb from HCE. Beautifully raced on them hard tyres. Scar finishes P5, Hyper in P6. JM is going to come across the line in P7. Oh my god, my voice is going. My voice is absolutely going right now. JM finishes 7th, Haunter in 8th. What is going to happen between Zhao and Dirk here? I think Dirk has dropped off here. He is very upset about that one, Dirk. And you can tell. It doesn't even want to cross the line. Okay, alright. Alright, the cheek here. The cheek here. Can we get a race stewards on this one? Can we get a race stewards on this one? Dirk. Oh. Just cross the line, Dirk. Thank you, buddy. Dirk finishing in P10 after all that. A fantastic race here in Brazil. Credit to everyone who did manage to finish the race. Driver of the day of the game as well was HC. Absolutely 1000% deserved. Mizzo does finish first in the first ever Brazilian the first ever Vince Fan Community race. Scar's finishing in second place, John in third. Look at the amount of penalties that ended up accumulating at the end here as well. HCE did absolutely miraculously there. From starting 19th on the grid all the way to P4 on them hard tyres, 50-lap-old tyres. Superb effort from HCE to get into P4 there. Scar in P5 in the Ferrari there. Hyper in 6th after all them penalties. JM in 7th as well. The man coming in with the red as well. Much appreciated, JM. Congratulations on your result as well, man. Haunter in 8th. Zhao in 9th. Dirk in 10th place. Githmark in 11th. Term 12th. Chef, Tump, Sam, RJ are your finishing members there. Unfortunately, the only retirements we had from the rest of the grid was from Tanish, Coit, Poppin, and Joey.